Hello, welcome to part 2 of my conversation with Nkem. So last week I had a lot of fun. We're basically talking about Gen Zs, at what they call it, just general lifestyle of Gen Z and stuff like that. And our episode was getting so long, we said let's break it into 2 parts for you guys. So we're back today to talk about Gen Zs at work, and conclude this episode up in a few 20 minutes thereabout. One thing I should tell you is that if you have not been listening to PlannedPath podcast, you should make sure you do that. It's your choice up for book reviews and crucial conversations. Um, it's hosted by PlannedPath Consult, a lifelong learning company for podcasts, teacher trainings, consulting, and all sorts of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that encourage lifelong learning. We don't want your brain cells to die. We want you to make sure you keep learning in life. So yes, Nkem, welcome to this episode. We're so glad to have you. Let me clap.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be.
Thank you for agreeing to do part 2 with us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So can you refresh our memory in like 1 minute about things that happened in our previous episode?
Okay. I recall we talked about my reaction. You asked about my reaction to Gen Z's being picked on, and I said, and I still maintain that I'm indifferent. Okay, we won't be the last generation to be picked on. As then they roast us, we will roast others too. And one key thing I mentioned that Gen Zs should, other generations could learn from Gen Z is our carefree attitude. If we can't help it, we can't kill ourselves, right? We are unbothered because there's a lot of things to worry about, and I think it's a coping mechanism for us rather than get overly worked up over something that you can't change. I don't just, shove it aside and move on. And that's one art that the Gen Zs have learned. At least I speak for myself this time, because if I can't help it, it doesn't take time. I just shift it.
It's very important in this life, so that somebody will not kill themselves before problem even comes.
Yes, no. Then I agree that we Gen Zs are selfish. Okay, I don't mind the use of the phrase selfish. Yeah, because that's what we are. And rightly so. Rightly so. Gen Zs have mastered the art of looking out for themselves first.
When the older generation hasn't done that. Let me give a round of applause for
Gen Zs. Oh wow. Yeah, and I think it's something noteworthy we look out for ourselves first, because even the Bible says that you have to love yourself first.
Absolutely.
If you must love your neighbor, it has to be love yourself. So, I mean, if I don't love myself, how do you think I will love you? If I don't look out for myself first, you really do think that I'll look out for you? You must be joking.
You must.
Yes, I agree.
Interesting.
We Gen Zs, we watch out first.
Interesting.
So I think that's a recap of what we.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So there's a particular saying now amongst my friends. We say Indomie generation no fit afford to buy Indomie.
You pay me die. More like the Indomie.
Of course, it's not nutritious. So tell us something about when that time of you're young, you're expressive, you're saying your mind, then it just dawns on you that you are now at work and you have to make that transition. How did you transit from being
Yeah.
catered for at home to now coming to fend for yourself? I mean, share with us briefly in 5 minutes how you've been transiting and how that journey is going. How is it?
Mm, oh well. Okay. First of all, I must acknowledge, I really have to acknowledge the support system that I have
Mm,
in a country like ours. It's a rare privilege. It's a privilege to have a support system that holds you up, because it dey pepper everybody for body, and people come look out say, ma still hold this person up, say na he reach ma hold am up.
mm,
I think it's a privilege, so I have to acknowledge the fact that I have a support system that has made it quite um smooth for me, because it would have been very rough. So
mm,
um but then I have to acknowledge myself too, because at 22, if we were in the previous generation, they would have had children by now. My mom already had a child before she got to my age, or by my age, and so many other women out there, you know. So it's something to acknowledge myself for. Not looking the other part, because from the side that I come from, the east, uh once you finish school, husband should be coming now, you get. So I
yeah.
have to also myself for not like it's not something big, but more like I acknowledge that I haven't grown to that extent. I acknowledge that I never mature reach to handle relationships. So my calm down. So I have to acknowledge myself that, because I had to tell myself the truth. Yeah. So speaking about transition to workplace, it's very hard.
Mm,
Is it very hard? Yes, it is. Yes, because in as much as I got my job via referral, okay?
thanks to your
Yes.
support
I
system.
Thanks to my support. Oh, thank you. Thanks to my support system. I also had to put in the work.
Mm,
You know one thing about referral is, if you are being referred, you are not just working for yourself this time. You're working for two people.
the integrity of the
The
other
people that
person.
thank you. So you just know that you must not. You don't have to. Yes, because if you misbehave, you are blocking the chances for others.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to put my integrity on the line two times.
Yeah.
I don't want to recommend you and you flop. How would these people see me when I make another recommendation? So I there have been occasions that I just want to, oh, please, 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 can when that Gen Z energy comes in, and I want to behave like the typical Gen Z, you
Mm.
know, sometimes here's one thing, sometimes we can be mischievous, and I can be mischievous, you know. So
Confession.
sometimes a what?
Mm.
Sometimes I can be mischievous, sometimes we Gen Zs can be mischievous. So sometimes I would want to ah I'll see the very a perfect opportunity to do my mischief, and I have to hold back, because hey, watch out, someone brought you here, behave, you don't have to misbehave, and all of that.
Mm.
And then making the transition, having to work in a place where I'm the only Gen Z.
Interesting.
Ah, nobody to use the it's given, upper, upper thanks, and feel Gen Z, you have to act all, you know, according to
Matured.
the environment. Yes. And it's hard. Ah, we all can be matured at big, but who are you going to play with? Your mommies and daddies. Ha 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 ha. So having to settle in a workplace that have people people way ahead of you in experiences. There's a lot to catch up. There's a lot to learn, and you have to manage your youthful exuberance. You have to manage, um, you know, your should I say cravings? You have to manage your
Your
expectations.
tendencies.
Yes, you have to manage all of that because there is a lot. If probably I was working in a Gen Z environment, maybe it would have been a different story.
Mm.
Okay. But because at the point I am, and given the kind of job I do, you have to manage a lot of things. You have to manage
So I
how
have
you
a
talk.
question.
Okay.
In all of this, right? What
Yeah.
tips have worked for you? Can you like tell us like two things that have worked for you in your transitioning process? One thing that for me worked for me is that I didn't compare myself because I finished school quite early as well. So I just took
Uh,
my journey slowly, gradually. At least I've graduated from school in like 10 years now. And I've just taken
okay.
it slowly, steadily. I don't compare myself with anybody. So in your own instance, what has actually worked for you in the process of transiting from being cared for at home, being in school to
Mm,
now having full responsibility for yourself, of yourself, and actually now be paying bills? What has been working for you?
I've had to tell myself that the world around me.
Say that again.
So I've learned to, or rather, I've acknowledged, how should I put it? Okay, I've had to tell myself that the world does not revolve around me. Lately, I've stopped taking things personally in the workplace.
Mm,
Mm, yes. Before, you know, like I told you, my facial expressions are always there.
mm,
I'm still managing it, but now it's, I don't take things personally.
mm.
Okay. And another thing that has helped me moving from being cared for to taking full responsibility for myself is my contentment.
Mm.
All my
Content.
life, I've been a very contented person.
Mm.
And we are in the era that if you're not careful, you will fall in. The
Yeah.
pressure, pressure left, right, and center, on social media, everywhere. Everybody is announcing their wins and you don't know what's going behind the scene.
Especially on LinkedIn.
Ah, that side, that they will carve it professionally. You know, I bought a car, but the way they will write it, huh? You fall.
You start thinking
At the
about
end of
your
the day,
life.
it's only car that you bought and you wrote all this. So I have, like I said, I've always been a very contented person, but it is helping me now more than ever. You
Mm.
know, I see if I cannot afford this, it will not enter my eye. I really don't care what you are wearing. I am good. And that helps me manage my expenses. I only go for things that, first of all, I can afford and it's very necessary at the moment. It's one thing that you can afford these things. Another thing that is it even necessary? Should you get,
Mm.
you see, right? So I only get things that I can afford and that is very necessary.
That's nice
So
discipline.
contentment has helped me, especially in this our time. Please,
Mm.
emphasis on this our time.
Yeah.
Because it choke, it's very hard for you to where will you start from? Okay,
Okay.
before you will not know what your peers are doing. Okay,
Yeah.
because at school everybody would have gone their way and you only hear once in a while their calls. Okay, so somebody can actually lie that they are doing well.
Mm.
Someone can actually, make up something. But this one, you are now seeing it visuals.
It's all in your face.
Ah, you swipe left, right, front, and back. You are seeing them.
Mm.
So there is a you are bound to be pressured at every given time.
Mm.
And if you're not a contented person, you will fall in.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So contentment has helped me. I go
That's
for
really
things
nice.
that I can afford and are very necessary. And another thing that has helped me in this my transition journey is gratitude. Oh
Hmm.
God, I am a person of gratitude.
Hmm.
Okay. There's a way they do say it couldn't have been bad or something.
It would
I've
have been
forgotten how
worse.
people it would have been worse, or what's the worst that can happen.
Mm.
Okay. I've learned to keep track of my journey
Mm.
from time to time, not in comparison to anyone, but to myself in the past.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm doing well. I'm doing
Truly,
extreme. It's not everybody that has that privilege of having a support system. No, it's not everybody. So having that alone is a big thing for me. I'm good. Okay. Having people that I can always call and be like, you don't choke, you know. And they will just give in their 2 cents, do like this, do like this, do like this, do like this. And it's a privilege. Okay. So gratitude keeps me in check. Gratitude makes me understand. You could have been anywhere, below this point of your life, but here you are. I
mm.
haven't fallen seriously ill in funny enough for somebody like me that once I get too stretched and stressed, I will fall very ill. A colleague of mine fell ill recently and he doesn't fall ill frequently. And I'm like, very soon it will get to me. Oh. Okay, but for the fact that I have been here since we started and I am still very healthy and strong. It's a thing of gratitude. And that's what I would say people should, learn,
Pay
especially my
attention to.
generation.
Hmm.
Gratitude. Not everybody has the privilege of going to school,
Mm.
and you went to school and you are done. Okay.
Exactly.
And Ibad as Ibad, it get you are not where you were before. Let me not say
Exactly.
it get people past. I don't like using that term. You are not where you were.
Mm.
Okay. Drugs are very costly. I don't have the idea because I am not on any medication. There are people
Mm.
that are living on. I am not.
So many
So you
things to
see,
really be grateful for.
thank you. It's because we don't know how to count our blessing.
Mm.
We are human guinea are insatiable. So after this, we just want to get to the next and the next and the next and the next. We don't take time to appreciate how far we've come, the little things of life.
Mm.
So contentment and
And
gratitude
gratitude.
have
Interesting.
really helped me in my transition journey, knowing that I'm not where I am. At
Yeah.
least yeah, I was thinking of after school, what next? I never factored in moving to Lagos in any of my plans.
Mm.
But look who is here now.
Mm.
So I really am grateful.
That's really, really nice to hear. Nkem, I hear that a lot of Gen Zs, we have like maybe 10 minutes more.
Oh,
I hear a lot of Gen Zs saying things like they want to resign, they want to resign, the pressure is a lot. If there is someone hearing this, listening to this, and this person falls into this category, what would you say to that person right now?
think it through.
Mm.
Please think it through. Oh, because of time, I won't narrate the experience, but think it through.
Mm.
Okay. What you want to do,
Mm.
give it a week. Do
Mm.
you really want to sign,
Mm.
or is it because of a recent incident that happened at the workplace?
Mm.
What is your contingency plan? Do you have any?
Mm.
God,
Because me,
for
I
that.
found myself that resigned when I was way younger,
Yeah,
like fresh out of school. I resigned, and retrospectively, I really think I shouldn't have. And I appreciate
yeah.
your own honesty. I appreciate your openness and humility. How you said you went back after you resigned, and then you now started working again. So that
Yeah.
was really nice. So you're saying
So
that you should think through that decision.
think, think and think and think and think. At some point, stop thinking and just you stop consciously switch into thinking mode again. It's really worth it. Do I have another plan?
Mm.
Is this the right time? That's the thing. Is this the right time to resign? You know, factor in so many things. Yes, it's true that now who wears shoe nowhere in the pain and pass. But then, please think it through. Okay?
Yeah, thank
No,
you.
no one will come to save you when the chips are down. You're just
Yeah,
all by yourself.
yeah,
So
and
think it.
and and for me, I would tell that kind of person that some of the lessons you learn in a corporate workplace can be very useful to you in
Yes,
life.
at least after my resignation drama and all that, moving forward, I've learned to not take things personally. Like a lot has changed. Okay, I just do my job and move on. I don't. Before I used to worry about other things. Who will do this? Who will do? Now I stick to my job and I move on after that. This thing is bad. I say, I don't know. You know, who will do this? I say, ma. I've learned how
Choose
to
your
carve out
battle.
appropriate response. You know, the right responses that wouldn't put me in a fix. I
Exactly.
mean, these are after my resignation drama. So please think it through.
Yeah. Yeah, for because some of these lessons, I realized that there's statistics that says between 50 to 60% of Gen Zs want to start their businesses or already doing their businesses. But some of these things
Hmm.
you learn customer service, human relationship, this how to send an email, how to draft an email, how to do this, how to do that. They will
You
be
need to
really
learn.
helpful in doing your business. In
Yes.
fact, we have different life backgrounds and everything, but I still believe that before people start their businesses full-fledged, they should
Mm.
at least have some kind of experience
Yeah.
working with other people. It can be very, very helpful as
Yes.
well, as well, as
Have
well.
to learn how to
And
work
please,
with it.
if you are dealing with a toxic boss, like you have thought
Mm-hmm.
you through, you have done your part, and you honestly know that your boss or your work environment is toxic, like Nkem said, have a contingency plan, think it through, but please choose yourself, like she said. Choose yourself, choose
Mm.
your well-being, choose your mental health. It will be worth it in the end, eventually.
Yeah. Just think everything through.
Yeah. Honestly, thank you so much, Nkem. It was nice
Thank you.
having. We're recording this episode at night, so it's a very chill episode. I've written
Mm-hmm.
it down.
I
Want
think
you
it's
to
actually the
listen,
best
so it will
time.
enter very well.
Mhm. Yes.
Thank you for coming on the show, Nkem. Nkem just told us part one and part two of Gen Z is a work. I want you to go back, right, to listen to it again all over. Share with your cousins, your nieces, your friends, everybody that is in Gen Z, struggling with work, finding their balance. They will really need this episode. And please,
Mm-hmm.
Nkem, before you go, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Mention three countries that start with letter S.
Letter S.
Yes.
I know Sierra Leone.
Okay.
There's this one. I'm not sure I can get the pronunciation, but Seychelles.
Seychelles.
Yeah, Seychelles.
Mm.
And S. South Africa.
I want you to remember the people we beat during AFCON.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much for coming on the show. Really appreciate you, Nkem. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Bye. Yeah.
Bye.